Victoria, how you doing?
Me, this one?
That one.
There's two of us.
There are two of you?
Yeah.
Oh, your name Victoria too? Oh, wow. And so Victoria, the black one. How's it going?
It's going well.
And what's making it go well?
I still get lost in my thoughts, but I'm catching myself getting lost in them. And realizing that a lot of my thoughts are literally just, there are these crazy made up stories in my head.
They're all crazy.
Yeah. So it's going well. There's not too many details to give other than,
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what it is. I'm starting to feel a lot different. So,
Good.
Before maybe I would be resistant to it, but I mean.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
I did it a couple times this week, so I'm
But not every
guessing
day?
that's a no.
Not every day?
No, not every day.
Suffer and die. That is the darndest thing I ever heard of. I wonder who don't do the silent prayer every morning and night at least? Wow. Brenda. Grandma. I got to ask Brenda first. Why don't you do the silent prayer every morning and night? Because God said, pray without ceasing. That means you got to always be in prayer. Why don't you do it every morning and night?
The honest answer is because I'm trying to, actually I'm not trying. I sense the devil grabs my brain right when I wake up. And
you like, okay, Daddy, you can have it?
well, some days, yes, because I think about it and it's like some days it happens and then I see it happen, or I feel it happen rather, and I'm not really sure what to do with that. It's like, okay, well, let me just sit in it because he can't be here all day. So, and that, I guess that's my question for you. Am I supposed to pray him away? Because if he's there and I see him, what else is there to do? I recognize, no, but what I'm saying is that I recognize he's there, where before I thought that it was just, oh, this is natural, this is fine, yeah, these are my thoughts and da-da-da-da. But no, it's like, I get it. You're working on me today. Okay, but this isn't going to last forever. So my question to you is how should I be seeing this?
I'll come back in a minute. I want to hear the other excuses for not doing it.
It's not well, okay, maybe it is. All right, I'll give you that. It's
All
an
right.
excuse.
Brenda, why don't you do the silent prayer every day, morning and night?
Because I've never learned how to do it.
You never learned how to do it?
Right.
Well, why have you asked someone to tell you how?
I did, and I got the tape, and the tape is very long and slow, and I asked for a written version of it, but I never got that.
But did you ask your husband to show you how?
He told me to use the tape.
Yeah, that's what your husband told you?
Well, he does it his way and on his own, but it's like I really wanted to just see what it was I was supposed to do and read it and be able to sort of understand the whole overview of it, and I just wasn't able to do that. And so I got
Amazing.
into it, but it was so slow that I gave up.
All right. Why don't you do it every day? Right here. Here come Daniel.
I think Victoria has such an elaborate way of kind of explaining, her excuse. No offense. I don't even think about it, to be honest.
You don't think about it.
I don't think about it.
Suffer and die.
Well, I mean, I have been, but I'm trying to kind of alleviate that. Like I signed up for the gym yesterday. I'm going back to school now. So I'm doing little things to help me along. But then when I do stumble, I realize that I need to catch myself. But overall, it's just not something I really think about. But although I am starting to give praise more and more,
Praise
whether
to who? The owner of the gym?
To God, right? If the weather's nice, or if my car starts, I'm like, God bless, right? And that's something I never really did before.
Let God care about that, right?
Well, I mean, considering I was in a very different spot, like less than 2 years ago. But I just wanted to add one thing totally separate from this. But I am such a Tarl Warwick fan, AKA Styx Hexenhammer 666. I was thinking about him like all last week, and then when I saw him on your show, I'm just like, I will slip Jesse a 50. I mean, donate a 50 to your organization, just to like, next time you speak to him, let him know he has a big fan in LA. Although that's really not helping my situation, because then I'm
slip
just,
me to 50, I'll tell him.
please.
So you're a big fan, huh?
I actually found you through watching him.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm like one of the few people that's become a fan in the like last 2 years that hasn't become a fan through like watching the Wrecked videos.
So what do you like about him?
I like his I like his thought process. I like the topics that he brings up. Maybe I just have a thing for horse-faced guys, but I think he's also I think he's good looking. And when the moment I saw one of his videos, that kind of like gave me the green light. Like, it's okay to look like a deviant while actually having like, like deviated thoughts, like from, like the norm.
Right.
Because I was actually going to get like 2 years ago, I was actually going to get like a satanic tattoo on the inner side of my arm.
Well, no wonder you're not doing the prayer.
Well, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know,
but,
I'm glad.
yeah.
Amazing.
Did you have a fun time on your trip?
To where?
Didn't you go to Australia?
Next weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next time I have him on, I'm going to let you know in advance so you can come over and meet him on the show.
I mean, I would like donate a pint of blood.
Okay.
Two
Yeah,
if I can
use some
spare
extra
it.
blood. So remember that, Daniel. Next time we have him on, I want to come into the studio and meet him. All right?
It'd be a dream.
Okay. Who else? You're not doing the prayer every morning and night. Right here, the young lady in the white, and then the young man that's here, right next to you. Why aren't you doing it every morning and night?
Because I honestly don't think about it until I come to church and then you bring it up. And I'm like, shit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate your honesty.
I need to set like a reminder or something, otherwise I'm not going to remember.
You're not going to do that.
I'll try to set a reminder tonight.
I'm sorry?
I'll try to set a reminder tonight.
Amazing.
Maybe. if I
Do you remember to get on your cell phone all the time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Scroll
Let
through
me ask the young
Instagram.
lady in the white. You don't do the silent prayer every morning and night, right?
Well, I try to. I feel like I do, but maybe I don't fully.
Do you do the silent prayer every morning and night?
I feel like I'm always in prayer, but
Do you
maybe
do the
it's not.
silent prayer every morning and night?
Well, I'm a little confused as to what the silent prayer is.
Do you do the silent prayer every morning and night?
I think I do, but maybe I'm doing it wrong.
Do you do the silent? Do you do the silent prayer every morning and night?
No.
Why we have to go up and down the road before we get the answer? No wonder God said, let your answer be yes or no. Amazing. All right, we'll come back to and you don't do it right next to you.
No, sir.
And why not?
I want to suffer.
You want to suffer and die.
Eventually die after I suffer.
That's right. Amazing. Anybody else that's not doing it?
Well, I actually had a testimony.
Hold on right here.
To this.
Hold on for a second. Yes, sir. Is this your first time here?
It is.
What's your name?
My name's Ron. I was the one that called or told Ryan to give you a call. He's the one with the stage 4 cancer this week. You spoke with him.
Oh, okay.
Wished him well. That was
Right
the
on.
thing.
Yeah.
But so anyways, I was going through my spiritual journey. Had a lot of stuff going on. Went through divorce and stuff. And, when you're always being called the devil and stuff, I was like, well, if everybody's calling me the devil, I might as well be the biggest devil I possibly can be. And so,
Who called you the devil?
oh, just, ex-wife or, what I mean, other people.
Do you have kids?
I do.
Oh, okay.
But one thing that's really cool about that is did I turn it off? That's cool. So anyways, but one thing I did, and it just was in me to do, was not to get involved with women with my children, and me, splitting the time with them. I'm spending time just with them. They're not seeing me split time or send them to grandma's house while I'm gone and doing me. But getting back to my spiritual journey, I was listening to the Quran and listening to like all the religious books and stuff. The Mormons would come over and I would speak with them. And so dabbled into the Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible. And so, you know, when you listen to like certain things through YouTube, like their seances and stuff, even though you're not expecting something to come inside of you, it definitely does.
Yeah.
I welcomed it into my body, and I mean, I would lash out at my parents because I felt like they turned their backs on me, and I was just a walking demon. I mean, I could just cut you down to size with just my verbal. You know, I've actually heard you talk to some satanic guys, and they go crazy. You know, and that's what I felt inside of me. But getting to your
So you became that way because other people were saying that about you, that you're the devil?
well, and I was opening myself up to accepting that kind of lifestyle.
That's
you know
amazing.
What I mean? And so, but getting back to your silent prayer,
Meet your sister.
I was listening. While I was listening to that, I actually had a hat with a pentagram on it and stuff. It's just those little things that you don't think is.
Mine at home.
Yeah, but it's those little things like that kind of open everything, and you know, you think you have control over your body, but I fell asleep listening to the silent prayer because it is a little long. You're so soothing when you're doing it, you know what I mean? I actually fell asleep, but it was playing on my phone, and I woke up the next morning and go, I feel like substantially different, you know what I mean? Even though I wasn't really coherent listening for word,
Right,
but
yeah.
I say, there's something different here, you know what I mean? I felt like whatever was suppressing me, the anger and everything was gone. I felt happy, and it was actually that weekend I called my parents and broke down and just apologized for the way I treated them, you know, lashed out at them, and forgave them, and they were just so happy to hear it and accepting of that. So, you know, with that, I think the silent prayer is amazing.
Yeah.
And got my buddy who's non-religious into listening to the silent prayer, Ryan, who's going to be probably checking out here pretty soon, but got him to kind of go through it. So, you know,
Right
for
on,
that,
man.
yeah.
That's great. Nice testimony. The one thing I want to tell you is that no human being can save your soul. No human being, no physical thing, place, or person can bring you out of that fallen state, because it's a spiritual thing, and only God can bring you out. And He's going to only do it if you are sorry for being there. If you really realize that it's wrong for being in that state. So you can hear me speak all the time, but if you don't see that you're wrong and then submit to the prayer, you have no chance. You don't have a chance, because it's a spiritual thing and not a physical one. And I know that a lot of you are lazy about prayer, but I highly recommend you do it. I've been doing it for 30 years now, and nonstop, no matter how late I go to bed, or if I'm traveling or whatever, I make sure I do it before I go to sleep and the first thing in the morning. And sometimes if I go to bed like 2 or 3 in the morning, I still make sure I do it, because I know that that's what has kept my mind with His mind. The prayer itself, the silent prayer is not going to change you, but what it does, connect you with God, and He makes the change. He take over your life. He renew your mind. And if you don't submit to the prayer, you're not going to get better. And I notice that a lot of people, they start out doing it and they feel good, then they stop. And then they start falling back, then they start getting, you know, back into their imagination. They, oh, I'm never going to make it. It's not working for me. It's not working because you're not serious about it. God said to pray without ceasing. And so as you do it, there's going to come a point that even during the day when you're doing your work or when you're faced with challenges, you're going to become aware, and the awareness is of the light of God in you. And that's what helps you to overcome all things, because you can see what's going on. Otherwise, you don't really see what's going on. And you're going to be in the darkness trying to find your way. And so Satan, the last thing Satan wants you to do is to be still and know God. He would rather for you to say, oh, praise you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Or loud prayer. He wants you to do that rather than be still and know. He doesn't want you to do that. And so He's going to always talk you out of it if He can. That's the last thing He wants you to do, to overcome your imagination, to bring every thought into captivity. So it's up to you. But I used to wonder, why don't people stay with it? I realize now you're not doing the prayer. And if you don't do the prayer, you're not able to stay with it. That makes sense? So do what you want, of course, but I highly recommend you stay with the prayer no matter what. And the ego doesn't like the fact that it doesn't have anything to do. That's why it's hard for a lot of you sit still and do it because the ego want to be busy. The nature of God want to have something to do, something to say, some kind of way to act so you can feel good about yourself. But the ego must die in order for you to live. And only God can kill the ego because it's a spirit and he'll take it away from you if you're sincere. I don't know what else to tell you about that because it's really up to you. If you're okay with suffering, I don't mind. We have some t-shirts back there that says suffer and die. So make sure you pick up one. Yes, sir. Where you been, Michael?
Korea and Philippines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back.
But I was curious. Somebody mentioned it earlier about, or you mentioned it about keep the silent prayers there to help you keep that connection to God. Is there something that you found that keeps that connection throughout the day without kind of having to do, or being in silent prayer all day?
Yes. What happens is once you are drawn back into the kingdom of heaven, he renews your mind. And so those old way of thinking and the old way of seeing things start to disappear. Mm-hmm. And now you see things in the right way, as they are, instead of illusion of what they are. That's why he wants you to stay in prayer, meaning stay aware. And you can't force yourself to be aware. You cannot force yourself to be aware. You can pretend you're aware, but you're really not. And only he can cause you to be aware. And so during the day, your mind is being renewed, and you stop overreacting. You find yourself more honest. You don't hold anything against people. You can see how to do your work. Everything starts to change because he renews your mind.
But being in that state of mind is still different from doing the silent prayer in the morning and at night.
Well, it's the silent prayer that helps you get to that. Because really, when you're aware about him, you're really in silent prayer, in prayer with God. You're not hooping and hollering, but you have a relationship with him. Mm-hmm. You can see what's going on.
I see.
Are you doing it every night and day, Michael? No.
No, I'm not. But it's,
suffer and die.
Yeah, but as somebody
That's
said,
amazing.
It's that awareness throughout the day where it's just.
It's a fake awareness.
Is it?
Yeah. Because you can learn to be aware. Be aware, right? And so all of a sudden you be aware. You're aware that it's raining outside. You're aware that you're at work. You're aware that someone is mad at you, but you're still not aware. That's the trick of Satan. See, Satan pretends to be God too, so whatever God is teaching, when Satan hears about it, he starts teaching it too. He really does. That's why you hear a lot of people that quote the preacher, quote me, quote the scripture, because Satan is making them think that they really see what they really don't see, because they're still paying attention to his thoughts and they think that is their own. He will give you a false awareness. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Because some people say, oh, I don't have to meditate. I'm aware. No, you're not. It's Satan making you aware. You could have to go to the toilet and say get involved. Have you ever done that? Bring your cell phone. You're like, oh, I forgot my phone. He get involved in everything. That's why God wants you to be aware so he can bring that into captivity. And then after a while, he get further away from you. But a lot of people think they're aware and they're not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's a really good question, Mike.
I had a comment about gay people, but about the prayer, I've been wondering, well, I have had this want for the longest time to like take a hike. And
Take one now.
And because as soon as I read in the Bible how like Christ would go up a hill with his students and then they would pray, I always wanted to do it, but always something comes up and I don't do it. And I notice when I'm praying, there's a lot of noise, like cars and neighbors talking. I can hear everything, especially the deeper you go. It's like you hear everything, and it's somewhat distracting. Is it important to like go on like a hike like that to just be away, just be with the Father?
Let me ask, are you doing the silent prayer morning and night?
Yes.
Every morning and night?
There are once in a while where Luisa usually will take me away from it, but yes.
Every morning and night?
No.
Wow. Why didn't you just say no right away? Because sing like don't say no.
I thought it's important to mention that it's almost every night.
And see how Saint told him, just say almost every night. Even though he's asking if you do it every night a day, say almost every night a day. He told you to do that. Because, and the reason I want to make that clear, because we don't have our own thoughts. We are not in control of anything. We're either influenced by the spirit of the lie or the spirit of truth. And Satan told him to say almost every night, but that wasn't the question. You know what I mean?
Yeah?
Yeah. You call him daddy sometime?
No.
But anyway, why don't you do it every night and day?
What happens is, you know, you wake up and then things will come up, and an hour later or 2 hours later, I'll remember, I'm like, I didn't do the prayer. And then I'll do it then.
Amazing.
But that's why.
Wow, we'll suffer and die. And as far as the noise while you're praying, if you're just still, it's fine to hear the noise because the noise is happening in the moment. But if you're in your head, you won't even hear the noise. So you want to be in the presence because everything that you hear is happening right then and there, and it'll pass. And after a while, you won't be agitated by it. It won't irritate you. It won't bother you.
I understand, but my question was, why did Jesus go on these hikes? Or
So
do you
that
think he
Satan can
didn't?
tell you, you need to go.
Come on.
He went because he wanted time away from the people and had that quiet time with his Father to know his will. And that's what's going to happen when you submit to the prayer. You will start to know God's will instead of your own will. It'll just become natural. So that's why he had that quiet time alone. That's why it's so nice to be alone without music at times, without people around, the TV is turned off, so you can have that quiet time. All right? Good question.
Jesse, to be clear, it wasn't that I was saying that it was going to take too long to do the prayer. It was that it took too long for me to understand what you were trying to tell me to do.
Yeah, that's I'm black.
What?
I'm black. He black.
It's like I kind of just needed a quick overview. You're going to sit down, you're going to do this, you're going to think that, you're going to do this.
But that's it.
No, it was like you don't really give an overview. You just start in, and it's like this
White people
slowness.
always want an overview, huh? White people so educated. What's the overview? No, I'm messing with you.
So I will try again.
Yeah.
I wrote it in my calendar, and I'm going
Look
to.
at white people writing it down. I wrote it in my calendar, and I got to do the overview. Yeah, just keep it simple.
Okay.
All right, brother. So, I urge you to do the prayer. Stay with it no matter what. Stay with the prayer, and you'll be fine. Watch yourself, speak up, but don't resent. And you'll be fine. But you got to stay with it. I stay with it. I talk about this every day, all the time, but I still have to pray. I still have to watch myself. I have to be honest. I have to speak up. I have to know myself. I have to do that. And I urge you to do it too, all right? And you'll be fine, but just, if you have a step backwards, don't judge yourself. No big deal. And everybody in that fallen state, all of us have been in some bad situations, all right? But the moment you realize that they're wrong, that, oh, I'm stupid, this is crazy, in that moment, it changes. And it's over with. Satan will try to remind you of it, but it's over with. All you have is this moment. Whatever happened yesterday doesn't exist today, except in your mind. So let it go, all right?